Hello YouTube, it is I, Banded Wendy, on Tuesday the 20th of March 2012. Hello. This is my post-first marathon, I did it video. As many of you know and have supported me along the way, I have spent the last 20 weeks training for my first marathon, the LA Marathon. 3 years ago this week, I was not an athlete. I was obese and had weight loss surgery, had the lap band. Friday, the 23rd, will be exactly 3 years, my surgery. So never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be a runner, let alone a marathon runner and or a triathlete. And this journey to this marathon has been, incredible. Challenging and rewarding both physically and mentally, and the emotions even today are so strong around the entire experience. So I want to start off by saying I finally got to cross off the last box, 26.2. This was my training program. When I started the Couch to 5K, back in July of 2009, I used it and checked off each workout. And I created this training plan for myself and shared it with my fellow runners, and we used this training plan to get through our 20 weeks. And I know we all had a great time scratching off that last workout. So there it is. So that goes in my binder where I keep all my training programs to refer back to later. My running partners for the LA Marathon were Hua, Rain-01, who's been my running partner for over a year and 3 or 4 months now. We run every Sunday religiously. She's never not shown up, no matter what. She's always been there. And she's the one who asked me to run this LA Marathon with her. She's a long distance girl, and I'm a short and fast kind of girl, but somehow we make it work. Amy SD Mom, who's became a wonderful friend of mine in the YouTube community, and she only started running in June, less than a year ago, and set out to do this marathon with us. And Bypass Joelle, who I've also known over 2 years now as a close friend in the YouTube community, and she's been a runner for a while since weight loss surgery, and she was ready to give it a go too. Unfortunately, Jo came up with some physical barriers and health problems that didn't allow her to complete the program with us and cross that finish line, but Jo was with us every step of the way. So Amy, who and I set out on a marathon weekend, and I've talked to some of my close friends here in the community, and each of them had said, "Well, I want play-by-play." So I'm going to give you a play-by-play. The run was considered stadium to sea. It was from Dodger Stadium in Elysian Park to the Santa Monica Pier in Santa Monica. Thursday, my weekend started. Thursday was my first day off in 17 days. I had a 17-day work week. And 10 of those days were traveling. Salt Lake City, New York City. I'm a Southern California girl now, and when I travel to those cold places and when I deal with trade show people, so I'm shaking hands and touching people all day long in various cities and dealing with airports and hotels and all that gym equipment that someone else has touched. I look back at some of my videos. If you go back and look at my year 1 post-op video, which is right around this time of year, I had an ear infection and I was sick. And it happens all the time when I work that aggressively so long, so many days in a row, and I travel. So, guess who woke up on Thursday, 4 days before her marathon, sick? This girl, right? So, mentally, I wasn't allowing myself to be sick because I've never missed a workout, ever, since I started running in July 2009 because I didn't feel well, right? So I called my doctor here in LA, and I was like, I need a Z-Pack stat. I'm running a marathon Sunday. My chest was heavy. My head was tight. My nose was congested. My ears had been plugged up for a few days already. And I got my Z-Pack, right? And I always have, my husband taught me this one, weight loss surgery tool, liquid cold, severe Tylenol, daytime and nighttime. And I posted that on Facebook, and Lapband23, Andrea, was like, add in some extra vitamin C and some Vicks. So I did. So since Thursday, and still today, I've been doing this. I finished my last Z-Pack pill, 5 days worth of pills yesterday. So this is the preface for my marathon run. So anyway, I went down that path of doing everything I could to know that I was doing the best I could to beat that cold, or the illness, the sickness, because I was running that marathon, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because I had done that 20 weeks of training, and I was not going to not run that run, right? So on Friday, went out shopping, got rain gear. It was supposed to be horrible rains in LA on race day. Went to the expo, got registered for the event, $165 to run the LA Marathon. That got me this medal, alright, check that out, my first full marathon medal. This cool race tank, or race top I should say. And I'll throw some pictures in here in the video, it shows all the places we ran. And I got my marathon bib, right? Bam, there it is. And pretty much spent the day resting, working on my playlist, because you gotta have a good playlist for running in my book. Saturday morning, woke up, still not feeling great, but we had to do our last 2-mile shakeout run. So I met up with Hua and Amy at the Rose Bowl. Pouring rain, and we ran 1 mile one way, 1 mile back. And I knew then my breathing was off, but the wet weather gear that I had worked, and physically I felt, strong, muscular, and my endurance, no problem. Let's do this thing, right? Saturday, Amy was kind enough to give me a gift, because I've been making our playlist since Amy and I started running. So thank you for the gift card. I didn't even realize the value of it until last night, because I put the playlist together. And we went, and then Hua came over, and she gave us more gifts, really just great reminders. One of the first runs the 4 of us did together, and when we did our 20-mile run in a frame, who has pictures in a frame anymore? So cool. So great gifts from my running partners, and we went out to eat, to carb load, at the Olive Garden, which is some place we can all find something that we like. Grinlin Be Gone. Asia came, who and I became her running partner as well, and she got us gift cards for shoes, not running shoes. So I get to go shopping on my rest days that I have now. And had a fabulous dinner out. I'm going to try to put some pictures and video of that in here also. This video is already getting long. Anyway, race day comes on Sunday, and I took my liquid Tylenol, and we were out the door by 5:20, got to Dodger Stadium, stretched, used the bathroom, got to our corral area. The sun came up, there was no rain, it was cold, it was 46 degrees, but everybody was ready to go. We were excited. 23,000 people running in the race with us. It took us through, the first 4 miles were killer hills in downtown LA, Chinatown, Little Tokyo, and we were running. It was Hua, me, Amy, and we were running up those hills. Everybody was walking. Everybody was walking around us, so that felt pretty cool. And it was a really solid, good run. Our pace was a 12-minute mile pace. We stuck at it, and around mile 12, I said to Hua, I'm dizzy, dizzy. And she had a miniature Easter Snickers, like shaped in an egg, and she gave it to me. And I don't normally eat out there when I'm running. We take our blocks, every 3 miles. We hydrate, and we fuel. We know how to do that. But I took the Snickers thinking that would help with the dizzy, so you're running, and I was dizzy. And the further I went, the more I ran, the more dizzy I got, right? So by mile 19, I was like, I had been doing water at the water stations. I had been taking oranges and sucking out the juice and throwing them. City of LA, I applaud them. Like, by far, out of all the runs I've ever done, they came out to represent. All the local running clubs were out. They were handing out Cheerios, they were handing out oranges, they were handing out water, they were handing out other sports energy hydration. They were handing out mints, candy, gum. I mean, it was just amazing support of the community, from the community in LA. It was just phenomenal. Because you don't see that in LA a lot. So that was cool. By mile 18, mile 19, my head just kept spinning. And the winds were whipping too. It was like 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. And my head, I was like focusing straight, and my head would spin, and my head would spin, and my head would spin, and then it would just stop. And when it would stop, I felt like someone would fall over, which I've never experienced. And I thought that it was fuel, right? It was hydration or fuel. That's why I kept taking the stuff I was taking. But by the end of it all, at that point, I realized this is because I'm sick. I'm out here running a freaking marathon, and I'm sick, you know? So, at that point, I don't think Amy even knew I was even dizzy at that point, because Hua was by my side, and that's who heard me say I was dizzy. Amy took off to go finish her run, and Hua stuck right by my side, and Hua was my crutch. I literally had to put my arm on Hua and hold on to her. Hua put her arm around me many times to hold me up. It was tough. It was tough. You know, mile 20 or 21, Hua was like, we're going to have to dig deep for this, Wendy. We're going to have to dig deep. But I was still like, oh, no problem, to stick to our pace. But from mile 20 to 26, I probably got dizzy 7 times. I had to walk. I mean, I ran across that finish line at the end, but I could not wait for it to end. And Hua pulled me to that finish line. So the moral of my story here is, so, you know, all this is every bib I've got since I've started running. My medals, you know, and to get to this, you know, it all adds up. That 20-week training program, that's my race, you know. I finished in 5 hours and 33 minutes. My goal was 5:03 or under 5, really. It was not my best run. I'm a much better runner than what ended up happening to me. I'm having a hard time accepting that was my first marathon, I'm being honest. I know I crossed the finish line. I know I did a marathon. I know it's an amazing achievement. Very small percentage of people in the world do marathons. An even smaller percentage of weight loss surgery patients do marathons. And most people don't even work out when they're sick, and I did, right? I ran a freaking marathon as a weight loss surgery patient, sick. I have a friend who did the marathon in 7 hours, non-weight loss surgery patient. So I did okay, but it's not the run I wanted to have. So what I learned through this is my friendships with Amy and Hua and Joe, the 20-week training, running that race together, all the preparation runs we did together, priceless, you know. Made me stronger as an individual, physically, mentally. My relationships with them are stronger on a personal level. Amy rocked it out there, you know. We told her she could do it, and she sure did, you know. Awesome job. Hua, her second marathon, and when I told her to go, you know, she said no. And we've talked about the race since the run, since it was over, and she said, I knew there was something wrong with you. I mean, I could feel it. I knew it. When you told me you were dizzy, and you kept taking those oranges and taking the water, and then her music died, and she could hear me breathing. And at one point I saw her point to something, and I wasn't sure what she was pointing at, and I looked. It wasn't till last night when I talked to Hua that I realized she was pointing to the first aid station. She wanted me to go to the first aid station. I told her last night, I'm not going to no freaking first aid station. I'm going to be passed out on the ground, and they're going to have to come get me before I quit, right? And she's like, but I don't know CPR. I was worried, you know. So God bless Hua. She is my running angel. I'm so thankful to have her as a running partner. You know, I do a lot of running on my own, but come Sunday morning, it's me and Hua. And I will always have Hua, and I will always have Amy, and I know I can count on them to keep me running for the future. This was my first marathon, not my last marathon, and it's a great starting place. So thanks to everybody who gave me the support. I want to show a shirt that Becca got me. Pretty cool. Thank you, Becca. I put the picture on Facebook. Love it. Ah. So get out there, exercise when you're sick. If I can do a marathon, you can get up and go move out there. And thanks for your support. I appreciate it. Oh, I raised $1,350 for the WLSFA, so thanks to everyone who donated. Have a good night. Bye.